We've got some breaking news out of the NFL where the Rams are releasing former All-Pro wide receiver Cooper Kupp. The former Offensive Player of the Year had 2 more years remaining on his contract and a cap hit just under $30 million next season. Kupp tallied 67 catches and 710 yards this past season, which was his lowest since 2018. He'll now become one of the top free agent wide receivers in the NFL this offseason. Let's welcome in NFL insider Jonathan Jones, and we'll start here. Why do you think the Rams were unable to find a trade partner for A1 Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, so look, it's been a while since he had that Triple Crown season and since they won that Super Bowl. Ever since then, he has not been able, unfortunately, to stay healthy, Cooper Kupp. And so, as you noted just a moment ago, the lack of production, in large part because of the difficulty staying on the field, along with the fact that this upcoming season he'll be 32 years old, along with the fact that he had a cap hit of nearly $30 million. All of those things combined meant that there was really no chance at all that the LA Rams were ever going to find a trade partner for Cooper Kupp. They knew that. They knew it was outside the realm of possibility, but it did no harm to the Rams to wait for a couple of weeks to see if someone came calling for Kupp, or at least if someone would pick up the phone when they went calling about Cooper Kupp. And so what has been anticipated and expected for several weeks now is now going to be official at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, and that will be that Cooper Kupp will officially be released. He has been granted his release. It's only a matter of hours before that becomes officially official. And then at that point, he will be able to resume conversations with any other interested teams for his services.
Yeah, we've been waiting a while for this to become officially official, but this is news that we've been anticipating for a long time now, which means other teams have known that Cooper Kupp would eventually become available. So what are some landing spots that would make sense for him?
All right, well, the top landing spot that I have heard around the league for Cooper Kupp has been the Dallas Cowboys, a team that has created so much cap space yet has not really done a whole lot in free agency. When you consider the Dallas Cowboys, you have to think that, okay, they have a quarterback in Dak Prescott. You're talking about a 31 going on 32-year-old wide receiver who has been to the top of the mountain, so he wants to remain with a contender. And so the Dallas Cowboys hoping to remain at least a playoff contender and hopefully get back to that conference championship game that has eluded them for the better part of 3 decades. You also have to consider connections here. And the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers coach that they just hired is a man named Junior Adams. Junior Adams was at Eastern Washington when Cooper Kupp got to Eastern Washington. In fact, Kupp has referred to him in the past as the best wide receivers coach that he had ever been with. And so that is yet another connection, along with the fact that, yes, the Dallas Cowboys could use a guy like Cooper Kupp. Look, has age caught up to him? Have injuries caught up to him? Does he separate perhaps the way that he was doing so in that Triple Crown season? No, of course not. However, at the right price, and it may take a while to figure out that price. Cooper Kupp, he's never been a free agent before. He may, like many others before him, want to go around and enjoy that free agency tour, be wooed by other teams, hear their offers, and then ultimately make a decision. But a lot of folks that I speak with believe that the Dallas Cowboys are probably at the top of the list as it stands right now before that free agency tour begins. One other team that should be considered, the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, Cooper Kupp being from the great state of Washington. Also, the Seahawks cutting Tyler Lockett, trading away DK Metcalf, and now adding Sam Darnold. They need some more wide receivers, so that could be a potential landing spot, staying within the division in the NFC West. So those are the 2 spots right now that I think a lot of folks around the league see Cooper Kupp landing, the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, what's helping his market is it's not a very deep free agent wide receiver market right now, but looks like a pretty good draft. So that's the math the teams have to figure out. JJ, thank you so much. You can get your latest NFL news on CBS Sports HQ. We have you covered when that new league year officially opens up at 4 p.m. Eastern, and all the latest happenings throughout the NFL offseason. Let's welcome on Pete Prisco here to discuss the news. Cooper Kupp officially released from the Rams. You heard JJ talk about some potential landing spots. He seems like he's eyeing in on the Cowboys. What do you think of that potential marriage?
I think it would work for Cooper Kupp. It would work for the Cowboys. They need to get another weapon to go with CeeDee Lamb. They need somebody else that can be a productive wide receiver. They've had problems throwing to other guys. I think it would work. Price will be an issue. You know, Jerry Jones doesn't like to spend money on free agents, at least hasn't over the recent years, so that would be something to consider. I think Seattle makes some sense. I think, you know, you look at their wide receiver room, it's not very good. I'll give you another one. Throw out Jacksonville in there a little bit. Maybe, you know, the connections are there. You know, James Gladstone, the new GM, was with the Rams, was their personnel guy, and also Liam Cohen coached with the Rams, and so they do have some familiarity with Cooper Kupp. So maybe that's another possibility. But I'm with JJ. I think it's going to take a little time. I think he's going to do a little bit of a tour and enjoy his free agency.
Yeah, that's when we look at all those off-season moves from the personnel standpoint and see who's gone where. That's a good connection there in Jacksonville. Unfortunately, though, he has missed at least 5 games in each of the past 3 seasons. How much do you think that had to do with LA willing to part with him?
Well, also, his numbers have gone down.
Yes.
And age and productivity weren't equal to the contract. And I think when you get to that level, then you have to set him free. They tried to trade him. Nobody was going to trade him for that contract. And so now he's a free agent. Here's the thing you notice about Cooper Kupp. 13.7 yards per catch when he had the Triple Crown season. Last year it was 10.6. That's a big shrinkage. That's a lot of numbers going down. And when you look at it from that standpoint, when a guy starts getting older and those numbers, the yards per catch goes down, I think that's where you start realizing that he's not the same receiver, and he's not. And injuries have impacted him in a big way, but he doesn't run. He never was a burner, but now he doesn't run the way he used to run. If you have another guy on the other side, say CeeDee Lamb, or Brian Thomas in Jacksonville, or even Smith and Jigba in Seattle, that can do the big play work, then you can do the dirty work with him in the middle of the field. He still can do that. So the Rams' problem were they had guys, none of them could run, and so they kind of squeezed the field a little bit. So I think he needs to get with a team that has a #1 wide receiver.
Real quick, let's look at the Rams side of things, because now they have Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. That's going to be their duo. What do you think about what's left in LA?
Well, again, they still don't run very well because Devontae Adams will be 33 in December, and he's never been a burner either. So they have to, I think this draft has to be about finding speed for the Rams. Puka Nacua, you know, he can do a lot of stuff in the middle field, not a burner. Devontae Adams, great route runner, not a burner. They did bring back Tutu Atwell, who can run, but he doesn't do a lot. He hasn't been used a bunch. I think they need to get speed on that offense so they can stretch the field a little bit and then come back and open it up. Look, Sean McVay does a great job of scheming his guys open. There's no doubt about that. But at some point, and everybody who's ever played defense in this league knows, when you line up against a guy who can run, he puts the fear of God in you. They don't have that right now.
It sounds like the NFL draft could potentially be a good place for them to find some young, speedy wide receivers. I don't know if you paid attention to the combine, but there are lots of options there at the wide receiver position. Pete Prisco, thank you so much. Here's some upcoming NFL dates. The new league year officially opening today, but as we've said throughout the day, we've already got all the moves coming fast and furious, and the owners' meetings happen March 30th through April the 2nd, and then a chance to get some speedy wide receivers, some young guys in the NFL draft in late April.